Sam, congratulations. This game was sharp in the beginning. It looked like he got the better of you in the opening, but then you were able to turn things around at some point and win the game.
Yeah, these last couple of days have been weird. You end up better with black out of the opening and losing, and then worse with white and winning. I mean, that's sort of not what's supposed to happen at this level, but that's happened the last 2 days for me. But yeah, I don't know. I think I got out-prepared or somehow tricked, and I thought Queen D8 was supposed to be inaccurate when he played it, and if I recall, it was because of Bishop G5, either here or Queen E2 first and then Bishop G5, but I just couldn't remember the details. The next thing I knew, I realized that after Bishop G3, E4, that I was thinking of going Knight E5, and I thought I had a nice position, and next thing I realized I had Knight takes E5, Bishop F2, and that's that. It's possible he can even start with Knight G4. I think this is just sort of collapsing already. And I just missed that and next thing I can just resign already, I think. So then I'm already thinking, okay, like, am I just worse? I mean, after Queen E2, I was even thinking he could castle. Like, I thought I was worse there as well. Like, after I was calculating D E4, Knight E4, Queen E4, Rook E8, and then Knight E5. And I think there's a very important move, Queen F6. And I think I'm just worse. Maybe not that much worse after, like, castles, Knight E5, Knight D2, but it's definitely unpleasant, and I was just really annoyed with myself. I'm like, look, just bad position with white. But then he really surprised me when he took back on E7 with the bishop. I thought he absolutely should take with the king, because when I was able to play F takes G3 and get myself castled short, all of a sudden my position makes some degree of sense. But if he takes with the king, this plan will not work because I cannot castle short. And so I'm just not going to get the kind of activity that I got, and I'm going to suffer against the two bishops. I'm just slightly worse, and will remain slightly worse for a long time, and that's not a great feeling. After Queen E7, I already felt pretty happy. I mean, I'm sure he has to be fine somehow, or better probably, but I was reasonably satisfied with my position around here, and yeah, just kept playing.
He did have an idea that was really weird, and I'm sure you didn't look at it because we were discussed it when the engine showed it. Was here he could have played the move bishop to c5 after bishop c6.
I did consider this. I actually thought that was it was a serious detail. Or yeah, okay, he castled first, but
same thing though.
Yeah.
Castles and allow you to take.
Because if he's going to do it, he has to do it right away, or else Knight B3 will come. But
right.
Here, after Knight B3 and then Knight E5, I thought I should be equalizing, but maybe that was too optimistic.
Well, the point was if you try to move c4 instead.
No, this I thought would be too.
No. Sorry, Knight E5 was correct. Knight E5 was the correct move.
Yeah, and I thought I should be equalizing here. I mean, his rooks are active, but it didn't seem that bad somehow. Maybe
you didn't feel the bishop was stronger than your knight here?
Perhaps, but it's a simplified position. I guess the big problem is my king is stuck forever.
Right.
I think that's the real issue. That I hadn't appreciated. I don't know. I mean, at some point I was just thinking, wait, I've halved the bishop pair, I've messed up his structure, like I've actually gotten something from what should have just been a miserable position earlier on.
The point was that the move c4, c4 allows the move c5 by black.
Yeah, and this kind of thing, I think it's just bad for me. The bad knight on b3 versus the bad bishop on b6, I think the knight is worse. And the bishop can become better, and a5, a4, g4, it's all coming. And I saw a lot of positions like this, because I actually played for c4 later on, and I understood that if he gets c5, I'm just going to be worse, and I had to be calculating very carefully, like, when that happened.
Well, very good. That shows why you're a 2,700 player, to understand that you can have this bad bishop and be better.
Well, I don't know. Around here, I just sort of started not understanding his moves. I mean, rook d5, I didn't get it. You're not stopping me from doing what I want. So yeah, and here he has to give the bishop. And I still think black's basically fine, but I was expecting c5, not king b7. Well, after king b7, I was still struggling to find the way. But yeah, here basically I thought if he can stop me from getting my knight to c5, like if I go c4, knight c5, I'm probably just going to win this game. If I can keep all the rooks on the board, or if I can go c4, knight a5, and b4. But I think he could have stopped it. So after king b6, c4, I was very surprised by rook d7. I thought he absolutely needed rook d3 here, so that I cannot play a4. And yeah, here I wanted to play rook e7 when it's a little bit annoying to stop c5 and knight a5 check. But he can play like rook c8 or something, which is ugly, but I also didn't see a great way to make further progress here. I mean, somehow I thought I should just play it and let him find his way here, but once he played rook d7 and I went a4, I thought it was already very bad for black, because if I go a5 and knight c5, this game is totally finished. And once I realized that the tactics work out, that if c5, I have a5 and rook e5, and if if a5 has he played, I had this idea to go rook f6, and then rook e5 was, I thought it was basically just winning. I couldn't see a way for him here after rook e5.
This was a very nice touch, this rook b5 check.
Yeah, I almost blundered it here, actually, though. I was about to play rook c5, threatening to take on c6, and pointing out that if he plays bishop e4, I have misplaced his bishop, and I can now go rook b5 check again, and now I go knight c5, and then he's gone, if I'm not mistaken. This, I thought, was over, because if his bishop is hanging, well, on the other line it wouldn't be. But then I realized that after rook c5, he could have gone rook d6, and I no longer have c5 check.
Oh,
and then I think I can basically, I don't know what, I thought I was almost busted here, actually, but rook on c5 is goofy, too. I guess I can go rook cf5, but I mean, this was, I almost blundered this away, but.
Oh, that would have been very painful, Sam.
Yeah, but this is, yeah, here, and I think this should be winning. I didn't see a defense as this went, so. I mean, I was a little surprised when he resigned on my move at the end. I thought I could still somehow screw this up, but yeah, I mean, here I was just calculating the difference between rook b6 and rook b6, rook g6, and rook g6 directly. I believe they both win, but I was like, there was one line, if rook g6, he can play bishop e2, and rook g3 and rook d8, and I'm going to lose the c pawn, but it doesn't matter. The king gets to b6, and that should be that. And he could have played rook c8 instead of rook d8 to try to keep me awkward, but I can play like rook c3, and it's clumsy, but I will reorganize and win. Or if I had played rook b6 check, yeah, so here just, I think rook c3 should be fine. Probably rook g7 wins too, but yeah, here I was thinking also I can start with rook b6 check, king c8 to not give him the c8 square, rook g6. But this one is a little annoying, rook g6 now to get behind his g-pawn.
Yep.
And then, but this one, now that his king is no longer on a8, he's not actually checkmated, so he can play rook h3, and then a7, bishop f3. But I believe I'm getting back just in time. So bishop f3, check on a8, king d7, I guess, doesn't matter, make a queen. And then after bishop a8 and rook a8, if g2, I have rook g8, and if rook g4, if rook to h4, g4, I'm going to be just in time with rook a1, rook g1. So I was just making sure. I believe both moves win, but yeah, Shak resigned, I guess, instead of waiting for it.
Wow. Big time win against a big time player. Your feelings about the tournament now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still not great. I'm on -1, which is not where I want to be at all. I mean, but it certainly looks a lot better than it did yesterday. I was pretty mad at myself after this game with Maxime, where I just like prepared to the point where black is better against like one of the best players in the world, and then at the end I completely lost my sense of danger. I thought we were just making a draw on one more move. Next thing I know, the pawn ending is lost by one tempo in every single variation, like every single 120 moves deep. It's always one tempo lost. And so I was very upset with myself for that. But yeah, now this feels better. I mean, I think I got a bit of a gift today. There's no way I should beat a player of Mamedyarov's caliber from this kind of like just unpleasant endgame, but you know, I did my best and played well.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow and the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Just quick question, Sam. I mean, we're seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of victories in this first half. How do you account for it?
When you invite a really diverse field of players, you get a lot more fighting chess. When you invite guys who just play each other over and over again, a lot of the time prearranged games, it's just like, I mean, what do you expect? When you have somewhat uneven matchups in terms of some people being favored over others, you create situations where some players have to take more risks and some people have to take fewer risks. In general, I think when you have diverse fields, even it's not even that diverse. I mean, apart from like Darius, who's still clearly showing he can play good chess. Apart from him, there's like what, a 90-point threat range.
Yeah.
Like, that's even not that much. Still, you're just going to get a lot more fighting chess.
Thank you. Thank you for that.